Hey friends and everyone, welcome back to Netcode-Hub channel. I am Frederick and I'm happy to have you here today. In this video, we are going to talk about how to implement JWT Authentication with policy-based authorization in .NET 8 Web API. I have made several videos concerning policy-based authorization in .NET 8 Blazor, so if you haven't checked this out, check the video description, you'll find the link in there. Also, when we are done with this project, I'll leave the source code in the video description so you can grab it through it. I do offer coaching sessions to people who are interested in .NET 8, Blazor, WebAssembly, Web API, and etc. So if you're interested, check the video description. I have an email in there, you can write to me through it. Policy-based authorization in .NET Web API, it is a way of applying fine-grained access control to your API endpoint based on predefined policies that you've set already. This is typically done using the ASP.NET Core framework, which provides a flexible and powerful policy-based authorization system. Now, in talking about policy-based authorization, there are three aspects involved. The first one is a policy, we have requirements, and we have policy handlers. We're going to talk about the first and the second one. Later, I'll talk about the requirement, creating custom requirement. That is where we need to implement the handler. Policies are rules or requirements that must be satisfied for a user to access a particular resource or perform an action. These policies are defined in the application startup, and in this case, it's going to be the program.cs file. When we talk about policy requirements, these are the conditions that must be met to satisfy the policy. Example could be a policy requirement could be that the user must be an authenticated user, the user must be an administrator, the user must be in the user role, and a lot. So these are the requirements. So when you create policy, you specify requirement, and in an advanced one, you can also implement the handler. That is a custom handler. Custom requirements, where you implement the custom handler. Okay, so let's have a look on how to implement this in our web API. So let's create a new project. And there's going to be web API. So this is demo. So the name is demo policy auth in web API. Now I'm going to choose a location and now click on create. Click on next. And now in here, maybe we can decide to use minimal API. So let's uncheck this controller. We don't want to use a traditional controller, traditional API. You want to use a minimal one. Authentication type is going to be none. We're going to configure our own. So let's click on create to get this project created. So while this project is being created, the first thing that I need to do here is we're going to install our packages. So I'm going to, let's first build this project. After this, let's install our packages. So I'm going to unload this project. I have these packages references here already. So down here, I'm going to paste them. So what you need to do here is install ASP.NET Core .authentication.jwt bearer, identity.entity-framework core. We have entity framework core itself, SQL Server tools, Microsoft.identity model.tokens, and system.identity model.tokens.jwt. So these are the packages that you need to install. So pause the video and install them. Wow, let's say you are done. I'm going to reload project with dependencies. And after that, I'm going to build this project. While this project is built successfully, we're going to create our DB context class. So I'm going to add a folder in here and I'll name it as data as usual. And I'm going to create a class. And I name this class as AppDB context. Now within that class, I need to create a constructor. And now I'm here from this identity DB context, which is coming from entity framework core. Now we're going to use identity user. So we make sure we include the ASP.NET Core.identity. And we need these options too. So we need to use EF core. Now once you're done with this, let's go in there and I'll create our connection strings. So we can create our database connection string in the app settings.json. So let's go in the app setting.json, and now in here let's add our connection string. So server to local database is policy DB. We have our trusted connection set to true, and our trust server certificate set to true as well. Okay, so save this. The next thing that we're going to do here is register this database connection. So we go to our program.cs file, and that is where we're going to register this database connection that we created in the app settings. So in here, before the app build, let's have our builder.services.add database context, and now here we specify a DB context class that we created. Then we're going to search or fetch for the connection string name that we created in the app setting.json file. Okay, now when we are done with this, what you do here is to register identity manager service. So in that, we can have the service registered down here. So below the services.add-identity, we specify the identity user, and on the row we add the framework store sign manager and now row as well. Okay, so once you're done, we need to add the service, and now this service must be the JWT service. So here, before we do that, let's go to our app setting.json, and in here we need to specify the configuration for the JWT. So app settings, and in here we have our key. So this must be a random strings. It should be more than 16 characters, and we have our issuer. So to get the issuer, from LAN settings, HTTPS 7102. Let's go in there and I replace with it. Okay, so now let's go to our program.cs file, and now in here we're going to have our service registered for the authentication. So in that, we need to specify authentication service. We need a default scheme set, and we need to add JWT bearer. In there we have this option that we need to provide issuer audience. Remember that we set them in the app settings already. We have an issuer signing key to true, and here we have the validate lifetime, so it can check and expire the token when the time is due. Then we have issuer signing key. We get it from the JWT section. So configuration JWT and now key. When you check it up in here, configuration JWT and now key, we can get jwt.issuer.audience, and that is what exactly we are doing here. You see this? So we want to grab the value of these strings are in there. Okay. Did I say of these strings? Of this key? Yes, because a key and then the value. Okay, so now that we have this, we can go ahead and perform our migration. So let's build this project again and I'll perform database migration. This is set and done. So package manager console. If you're not finding yours, it's found in the tools. We get package manager, you see, it's over here. So add migration. Let me make it at first. Let's wait to get this built and then create a migration file. After that, we're going to update it. So update database. So let's go in there and add filter to the Swagger, so we can authorize it when we create a token. We can log in and access a protected endpoint. So we do that down here, and we add this to the Swagger. So you can see add Swagger gen. We have it added here already. So that means we go in there and I remove this one. We adding filter to this. So we add the Swagger doc, and in here we add the security definition. The type is the API key. The scheme is bearer, and the format is JWT. Where do you want to place it in the header? So we add that in, and that is all. Okay, so let's save this. Now let's go in there and create our policies. So these policies, we can create them in here. So we have builder.services.add authorization builder. We are creating our first policy. The first policy is an admin manager user policy. So it means 3 rows combined together. It means that anyone who has a specific row in here can access this, can access any endpoint which has this policy implemented. So as you can see, it requires a user to be authenticated. We want to require admin, manager, or user. So if you're a user, you can access this. If you're admin, you can access this, and if you're a manager too, you can also do the same. The next point here, it is admin manager policy. It means user is out, and admin user policy, manager is also out. Okay, so you have 3 policies in here, and each policy requires that the user first get authenticated, and secondly, the user must be in any of these rows. That's fine. You can actually add more rules in here, but let's maintain the 2 for each. Okay, let's add authentication and authorization middleware pipeline, and we can put this down here. So add authentication and add authorization. Okay, so first of all, we're going there to create our first, that is create an account. So if the user wants to create an account, we need to create our first endpoint. So let's clear this. Okay, so in here we can have our API endpoint, and when you check this, we have the app.map post. So this is a post request, and in here we have account/create, and in there we specify email, password, and a row. So let's say if you want to create an account for a manager, if you want to create an account for user, you have to specify the row, then the name, email, and the password to create an account for that person. And now in here we also injecting this user manager. So when you come in here, we want to check if the email is found. If it is found, it means user is registered already. In case it is not, we want to create an instance of identity user. Then we are going to create it. After creating a return success, we want to specify the claims. For now, we have only 2 claims, the email and we have the row. So we create these 2 claims as list, and now we add the claim is into the table. Return OK, results are true, and here it tells you that account is created successfully. Now when it comes to login, what can you do? We have to log in, confirm, check the email. If it corresponds to what we have, we need to now create our token. So in here we have map post account/login. We're taking in email and password. We're also using user manager. We're also using sign-in manager and configuration session, so we can get access to the JWT session that we created in here to create the token. Now in here we create, and then you find the user. In case it is now, you want to return not found, but in case it is found, we want to check if the password corresponds. In case it does, then we want to create the token, the security key. We want to create a credential. After creating this credential, then we have to generate a token. So we specify the issuer, the audience, and then the claims. So claims here, we have the claims in database already. So we're going to get them, and that's the reason why we're using user manager.get claims. We get the claims. Then we have an expiry date. Then sign-in credential, we specify in here. Return results.OK, because it's going to return a string, and we return it to the endpoint, and that is it. So this is going to give us the token as soon as you click on login. Okay, now let's save this, and let's run this app and check it out. So the endpoints are loaded, and you can see now you have the filter. We also have this create. So first of all, let's create an account. Click on try this out, and here we need admin@admin. So just admin@gmail. Then here we need the password. So admin@123. The row here is admin. Let's click on execute to get this endpoint or this record created. So let's wait. Yeah, so you can see that we have it created in here, and these are the requirements that we provided. Now let's create one for the user too, or manager. So manager, and the password is manager, and the row here is manager. Click on execute. Created. Let's create one for user. Password is user, and row is user. Click on execute. This also created. Now let's go in there and I'll log in and see if we're going to have access to the token. So try this out. We have a user, that's user, execute this, and we're going to have so this is the token. We can just grab this token, go to JWT.io, and now find out and see in case you have the row assigned to this or attached to this. So we are in here. So let's paste the token that we copied. And I can see we have user@gmail.com, and now check the row here. It is what? User. It is an expiry date, the issuer, and the audience. Yeah, so we have it set. And now it is a token. So we also have the same thing for the admin. Let's also go to admin. And now execute this. We have the same token. Let's grab this token. We go to the site. Then let's paste this. And you can see this is what? Admin. Let's check the last one, and that is the manager. Click on execute. We have the same thing. So let's grab this again. Then let's check it out. And we see it is still manager. So you can see that each of the user that has been created has their own row, isn't it? Yes. So we can now go ahead and implement this. All right, that's good. Now let's go to the code. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a separate endpoint and apply these policies. So let's see, these are the endpoints. We have 3 endpoints. Each endpoint is for one policy. So when you check this one, okay, so you can see from here that we have map getting the list, and it is just returning this. Okay, so let's say this is admin and manager only can have access. So admin and manager only can have access. Now check this. We have single, and here it is for only admin user policy. So this is admin manager policy, this is admin user policy, and this is admin manager user policy. So 3 of them can access this endpoint. Okay, and you just have to specify this authorized attribute on top, specify the policy, and that is it. Very simple one with a minimal API. Okay, now let's save this and let's run this again and check it out. Alright, so let's see. Now we're going to log in. Now we have this endpoint, and as you can see, if I click on this list, click on execute, I must have 401. Yes, 401 unauthorized. The same thing applies to the rest. I have the same thing, and the last one, home, also have the same thing. Execute this, I have the same thing. Now let's log in as admin and I'll check it out first. The admin must have access to all. So admin at Gmail, and the password is admin at 123. Let's execute this. We have the token. We're going to copy the token and authorize the content. So let's grab this. We go to the authorize feature in here, type in bearer, then paste this and authorize this, close it. Now let's come to the list, execute. Now we have it. Admin manager only can have access. Yeah, so this is admin, single, execute this. Admin and user only can have access. That's fine. Now let's go to home. And now here, welcome. Hello, welcome home, everyone. So you can see here, everyone can also have access. Okay, we are going to log out. So log this out, close this. We're going to log in as manager. Then execute this. This is our token. We're going to grab this token in here. Then let's go to our authorize bearer. We authorize this. Then let's go to the list. This is admin and manager can have access. That's fine. Let's go to single, execute this, and I can see we have 403, and that is what? Forbidden. 403 is forbidden. We do not have access to this. 401 is unauthorized. and our 403 is forbidden. Let's go to home, execute this, and hello, welcome home everyone. So you see, we're able to access the two endpoint, but the middle one here, manager do not have access to it. So that's the reason why we have forbidden. Okay, let's log in this. First of all, let's authorize, log out, and now let's log in as user. Execute this. We have a token, grab your token, then go to authorize. You know what to do, isn't it? That's fine, bearer. So close this, and now let's have a look. List user does not have access to list. 403 forbidden. Single user has access. Check it out. Admin user only. Now home, execute, user has access. Welcome everyone. So that's a way to implement this policy base with policies and requirements. Okay, we did not talk about the custom requirement, that is a handler. That's going to be the next video. We're going to talk about that too as well. I believe this is clear and you've learned something. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'm going to catch you up in the next video. Till then, take care.